and today I'm here to do the Julie and the Phantoms book tag. I am so excited to be doing this. You guys know how much I love Julie and the Phantoms. So when I found the Julie and the Phantoms book tag on YouTube, I may have freaked out a little bit, I won't lie. Then when I was answering these questions, I may or may not have been rewatching Julie and the Phantoms. I don't have a problem, except I do, and it's called Julie and the Phantoms. I don't even care. Here's the new anthem from Julie and the Phantoms. I love. So the Julie and the Phantoms book tag was co-created by Peyton Reeds and Brittany and Books, so I will leave links to both of their videos in the description box below. Definitely go and check them both out. There are 12 questions, all based on different characters from Julie and the Phantoms, and we are just going to get straight into it. Question number 1, Julie. Name a character who goes through a hard time but comes out stronger on the other end. This one I'm going with Simon from Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. Simon definitely goes through a hard time in this novel. He is being blackmailed by someone at his school who knows that he is gay, and from there it all just kind of turns into a mess. He gets into, you know, situations with his family, with his friends, and he definitely goes through the hardest time, but he comes out of it so strong and so amazing by the end of the book, and it's amazing. He's amazing. The whole book is amazing, and I would actually really recommend everyone read it. Question number 2, Luke. Name a character who is more than meets the eye. For this question, I am going with Ciri from the Witcher series by Andrezj Sapkowski. Now, full disclosure, I've only read this book in the series, and Ciri is not in this book. But I have watched the TV series, and once again, Ciri in the first season, she doesn't do much, but I have played Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which does follow on from the end of the games, and so I know a lot about the lore, and wow, Ciri is definitely more than meets the eye. When we meet her at the start of the Witcher series, she is this young princess who doesn't quite understand her power and her importance, and then as the series goes on, she becomes the most badass and amazing person. I love her. She definitely is more than meets the eye. When you first see her, you think, oh, you're gonna be such a damsel in distress character. No, she's really not. She's amazing. Question number 3, Alex. Name your favorite comfort character. I love Alex. These questions are giving me life. So I actually really struggled to come up with one for this, like a comfort character. What even is a comfort character? I don't, like, yes, Alex is definitely my comfort character, but in saying that, if I could pick a Julie and the Phantoms character as my comfort character, it would be Reggie, because I love him so much and he's adorable, but that's not why we're here. So for my comfort character, I've actually picked Pan from the His Dark Materials series by Phillip Pullman. Pan is Lyra's demon, and so he's basically a physical representation of her soul. He is just the cutest, he's adorable, and he has really good insights into things. Something happens during the Amber Spyglass, which is the 3rd book, which causes certain things to happen. I don't want to spoil anything, but that's the moment when I really went, oh yeah, you are great, and he is definitely a comfort, and who doesn't want like a little demon following them around? Question number 4, Reggie, my favorite character. Name your favorite comic relief character. I hate that Reggie is the comic relief character in these questions. Like, he's so much more than that. Come on. Anyway, for this question, I'm going with Simon Lewis from the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. Especially in this first book, when we first meet Simon, he is hilarious. He's so funny. He is definitely the comic relief, but he's also so much more than that, which I think is the same as Reggie. He is a comic relief character, but he is so much more than that. I love Simon. I think he definitely brings a lot to the series, but he also brings a lot of humor back into it when Clare is freaking out and just not coping with everything that is being thrown at her. Simon is always there to take care of her, but he's also there to be funny. There's definitely a moment right at the beginning of the book where Jocelyn or Luke exclaims, Jesus, and Simon goes, nope, just me, though I have been told I bear a remarkable resemblance, and just that really sets the tone for who Simon is in these books. Question number 5, Flynn. Name a book with a strong female friendship. This question I am going with Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. This book is actually full of strong female friendships. This is a book all about badass female pirates who become more like family to each other. For this one in particular though, I'm going with the relationship between Caledonia and Pisces. They are close to me. They definitely go through some rough times in this book and in the sequel, but their friendship can last through all of it, and I love that. Question number 6, Willie. Name an anticipated release you would sell your soul for. Going with The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni for this one. It has been over a year now since we have had a new Lynette Noni book, and considering in the last few years we've been getting like 2 or 3 and this year we've had nothing, I'm struggling a little. I need some new Lynette Noni in my life, so I would sell myself for that book. I know there are arcs out, but I'm not on like NetGalley or anything, and I don't know, I think it's Penguin that's, I actually can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Penguin that's publishing it, and I'm not on their blogger list, so not gonna get the book until it is released, and I'm dying. Question number 7, Caleb. Name your favorite magical fantasy book. I struggle with this question because there are so many good fantasies, and also I don't know if I would really like have a favorite, so I've gone with a classic, or a classic on this channel, and that is Akarnae by Lynette Noni. This book is fantastic. If you haven't read this book, you really should. It follows a girl named Alex who on her first day at a new school stumbles through a doorway and enters the mystical magical world of Medora, where she is then stuck and realizes that she will have to attend Akarnae Academy until she can finally get home. She learns so much about herself, so much about the world, so much about everything, and it's so good. It's so fantastic. It's definitely a fantasy. I don't even know if this would be considered like an urban fantasy because it's not set in here, but it's like a low fantasy, I guess, but it's still amazing and fantastic and so good, and you'll need to read it. Question number 8, Nick. Name a book you used to like but changed your mind about. I'm assuming this has to do with like the way Julie feels about Nick, because I still like Nick. I think he's a great guy. He isn't Luke. So that's a thing. Also, just sidebar here, I've been reading a lot of Julie and the Phantoms fanfiction because of course I have. And do you know how many people out there ship Nick and Reggie as like a thing? I was like, I don't really ship this. I will admit, I definitely subscribe to the idea that Luke and Alex dated back in the 90s, and I truly believe that Reggie is bi. And I have no problem with the concept that potentially Alex, Reggie, and Luke all dated in different combinations and possibly all at the same time. Doesn't bother me. I actually quite love it. They're so close and so adorable, and it's beautiful. But the Nick and Reggie thing, I just don't get. That part I'm struggling with, but the rest of it, just yes. Anyway, what were we talking about? Question number 8. For this one, I am going with The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. When I first read this book, I think I gave it like a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. And then I reread it a few years ago for uni and went, oh, this book is nowhere near as good as I thought it was. So definitely changed my mind about it. It's still a good book, but it's not like amazing, and definitely didn't live up to the hype of my memory. And I don't think it ever should have been as big as it was to begin with. But you know, we all loved it, and now we're all rereading it and going, why did we love it so much? Question number 9, Ray. Read a book with a supportive family or parents. For this question, I'm going with Raelia by Lynette Noni, but I'm not talking about Alex's family, I'm actually talking about Bear's family. So Bear is one of Alex's friends, and in this book they go to his house for Caldoris, which is where she meets his family, and his family are the most supportive people. They really take everybody in, and they just love them all, they support them all, they're a beautiful family, and I just have a lot of feelings about what happens to that family. Question number 10, Carlos. Name a book featuring ghosts. Believe it or not, I really struggled to find a book on my shelf that actually features ghosts. So once again, I went with a classic, and I'm going with the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. In particular though, I have picked out Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. 2 reasons. First reason, it's the easiest book to get out from the Harry Potter series. And second, this book has Harry, Ron, and Hermione attend Nearly Headless Nick's Death Day party, and it is just full of ghosts. Not a party I personally would want to attend, but a ghost party nonetheless. Question number 11, Carrie. Name a book that always seems to have a spotlight on BookTube. This one was also another hard question to answer because I feel like there are so many books that go through stages where they're really, really popular on BookTube and then they sort of fall off the bandwagon a little bit. So if you think back over the last few years, like the Throne of Glass series was huge on BookTube. Passenger was weirdly a really big book, the one by Alexandra Bracken, that was weirdly big, and we just sort of go on from there, and we've had books that are just huge. So if you want to pick authors that always have a spotlight on BookTube, I would say Sarah J Maas and Cassandra Clare are definitely the 2 authors that are always there. But I would also have to say Illuminae by Amie Kaufman and J Kristoff, and not just Illuminae in particular, but anything written by these authors. So obviously the Illuminae trilogy was huge, and Memento just came out, the little short story thing that was part of the pre-order campaign, I think, for Aurora, I want to say for Aurora Rising, and now they've just brought it out in ebook and audiobook form so other people can read it. I would also say Aurora Rising and Aurora Burning, although I don't think Aurora Rising is as big on BookTube as Illuminae was. Illuminae was huge. Everybody was reading it. So I would definitely say these guys have a spotlight. And I know J. Kristoff's Nevernight trilogy was huge on BookTube. Like huge. So big that Piera actually made like a short film thing for it, which I still haven't watched and probably won't, but it was a thing. And question number 12, Bobby/Trevor. Name a series you trusted but ultimately let you down in the end. Now this is a really interesting question because like I said, I've been reading a lot of fan fiction, and there are a lot of people that are like really mad at Bobby for what he did. And obviously I am too. I can't, you know, he's horrible, but I subscribe to the theory that Bobby was really, really close with those guys, and the four of them were like brothers. They were really close, and then for them to die would have been huge for him. So I like to think that he just struggled and he tried to make their memories live on by continuing to make the music. For this question, I am going with The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. So this book is the first book in the Fifth Wave trilogy, and it's incredible. It's so good. Freaking fantastic. Love it so much. However, you should just pretend it's a standalone. The sequel, The Infinite Sea, wasn't too bad, but then the third and final book, The Last Star, was awful. We had to wait 2 years for it, and then it came out and it was just so unbelievably disappointing, and I'm still mad that I read it. Funnily enough though, I'm planning on rereading this trilogy at some point just to make sure that like I 100% feel that way, but I'm pretty sure I do. Although in saying that, I should reread them because I didn't reread them before I read Last Star, so I waited 2 years, then I just dove straight into Last Star and was like, who is everybody? I don't know. So hopefully that helps. And there you go. That was my Julie and the Phantoms book tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have watched Julie and the Phantoms and what your answers to some of these questions would be, because I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.